G'day everybody, my name is Zach, I go by Captain Hook on the trail, and welcome to my video series about the Bibbulmun Track. Now, the Bibbulmun Track is a 1,000 kilometre trail that runs from Perth to Albany over in Western Australia, and I thru hiked it in May and June of 2021, which was late autumn, early winter. And yeah, I'd love to share my experience on the trail, so yeah, grab a coldie, sit back and enjoy. Cheers guys. Here we are at the southern terminus of the Bibbulmun. Pretty keen to head off, the weather's looking good. And yeah, got 12 k's to the first hut, the Savi, just got dropped off by the bus. 3 o'clock, let's get a wiggle on. First trail marker. Here we go, ladies and gents. Just gonna duck into the IGA and grab some salami. So I think the rain's going to be chasing me for the next few days, but that's alright. What can you expect? We're getting into winter now, so it's starting to get a bit wet. But yeah, no worries, there's shelters along the way, so we'll be able to dry out overnight. So just happy to be out here in the forest walking, you know. Already missed a trail marker and walked a K down the street. Had to turn back. We're off to a good start. Trying to get a bit of a wiggle on here. There's short days this time of year, about 10 hours of sunlight. Sun's going down at 5:30. I started walking at 3:30. I've got 12 k's to go, so you do the maths. No worries if you're in trail shape, but I'm a bit of a couch potato at the moment. But we'll get there. Good morning all, it's the second morning. Spent the night at Sand Patch last night. It was bloody windy. Got in at 5:30 and it was already dark. So short days this time of year in May. Gonna be trying to make the most of them. So I was up on the trail, you know, by 6:30 this morning, making the most of all the light we have. Made it to the Albany wind farm with the viewing platforms. Got it all to myself, eh? Nice views, 360. Oh, I'm gonna lose my hat. It's a bit windy this morning, but yeah, awesome. Just having brekkie on the go, a little fruit bar. Saves a lot of time in the morning, not having to prepare at the hut. And it also helps if you don't have an appetite. You can get a few K's down before you feel the need to have a nibble. I'd much rather have brekkie with a view like that than sitting in a hut, that's for sure. Surf Riders Code of Ethics. Do not drop in, smack the lip, whoop-a, drop there, say, blah. just made it to the first hut of the day, Mutton Bird. Run into 4 southbounders so far, but no northbounders, so hopefully I'll catch up to them soon. I reckon I will today. Seems like a few people stayed here last night. But yeah, feeling good. Checking out the first trail register. I've got a few people in front of me, but they're a few days ahead. So yeah, sun's out, bun's out. First snake of the trail was right there. Massive tiger snake. Might bust out the party flap. Hell yeah. Business in the front, sun protection in the back. For lunch I've just got rice crackers, salami, cheese, QP mayonnaise, bit of seaweed on top. Finish it up like a sandwich. These are smashed, but whatever. So I got to the second hut here at around lunchtime today. I did have enough time to get to the third, but I decided to call it quits here. I don't want to push too hard at the start of a through hike in case I get injured. My mind's ready for big days, but my body's not quite there yet. So yeah, I just relax, taking the opportunity to roll out some muscles that are a bit sore from today, to be feeling fresh tomorrow. Now, tonight's dinner is roast chicken and leek, and I'll just be throwing it in the jar with some water. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is called cold soaking. It's where you're not required to cook at all. And it's very simple, it's very easy to do. You just throw your stuff in, fill it up with water. I usually just fill it just over the top of the stuff, just so it's covered. And yeah, just let that sit for about 15 minutes and it'll be ready to eat. I'll add salami or tuna, cheese, seaweed, herbs and spices, doesn't matter. Here's my sleeping setup for the Bibbulmun shelters. It's a bug bivvy, quilt, pillow, sleeping mat, and I've just tied it up to the wall there. But this also goes underneath my tarp, and I've slept in this bivvy for about 300 nights now, and it's still holding up just fine. So yeah, these are bloody great. Saves you setting up a tent inside the shelter to get away from the bugs. And here's my synthetic quilt that I sewn together last week. It's holding up great. I was really warm last night. If you find yourself at a steep section, instead of going straight up, you can make it a little bit easier on yourself and sort of just zigzag your way up. And that way it's not as steep or as hard for your legs to get moving. This reminds me so much of the start of the Pacific Crest Trail around Campo and Lake Marina. Just the rocks, the plants, the weather, everything about it is very similar. So if you've been there, you probably know what I mean. Skippy. Skippy. What are you doing? Just having my very first trail break in the middle of the track. I am knackered. I've done like 27k. I've got another hour till the hut. But it's been a rough day. It's been on and off rain, very windy, very sandy, very hilly. Just hasn't been that nice. But we're getting there. I'll be at the hut in an hour. Just sat down, had my first bit of ibuprofen, and I'm gonna get some music happening. I haven't had music all day, so hopefully that'll get some spring in my step, because yeah, I'm just not feeling this last hour. But we'll get there, and I'll have dinner and
single game in Optus, whereas in England you've got to have
Sky,
you've got to have BT, and
yeah,
you can still only watch
right.
50% of them.
Yeah.
here's an old thru hiker trick that takes a bit of practice. It's removing layers while not removing your pack. You just do one strap at a time, like so. Now my jacket's off. You can put it on the exact same way. And by doing that, you don't have to stop. You can do it while you're walking. Look at this track, eh? I am laying down the miles this morning. It is so nice now. Hopefully be getting into town for lunch, so woohoo, that's good. Alrighty, it's just started raining and I'm on the infamous Wilson sandbar of the Wilson Inlet. I think that's what it's called anyway. But yeah, sometimes this is open and this is all underwater, so some people it goes up to their chest or more deep, and then other times of the year it's just this massive sandbar. So lucky I get to walk across it today. So there's like a 10k road walk in and out of town. I was gonna hitch it this morning, but as soon as I get to the good hitchhiking spot, one of the local walkers came up and started chatting with me. So anyway, we're walking along, having a yarn. Didn't want to be rude, but we're passing every single good hitchhiking spot. And then after about like 6k, he's like, all right, I'll live here, mate. Good to chat. See you later. And he pulls off home. And yeah, haven't seen a good hitchhiking spot since. And not only that, there's only like 4 more Ks. I don't want to like pull someone over and be like, oh, can I get in your car for 37 seconds, please? So here's this week's resupply. There's nuts, chips, nuts, lollies, chips, seaweed, my favourite. That's all my snacks. And then for dinner, doing these and add some tuna into them. And you can also just do a whole big bag of tuna. For breakfast, coffee and fruit bars, and also dried fruit. Snacks are chocolate, keeping mayonnaise to put on everything. Dried vegetables to go into dinner, dried shallots, and there's some salami and rice crackers for lunch again. So yeah, that should do me for 4 to 5 days.